I got a new reel in. Welcome to another episode, everyone. We are going to be doing a video today on a topic that I kind of want to start doing a little bit more than I have done before, and that is gear review, unboxing, initial impressions, some information on the gear, and all things like that. So, I've got a new reel in today. I believe this reel was just released at ICAST 2021. By the thumbnail, you guys already know what reel this is. So anyways, let's get it out of this box and get to talking about it. And then when you get the reel out, it is the Shimano Sustain C3000 and it is the FJ model. This thing is awesome. It's already opened. When I got it in, I had to take a look at it. I haven't taken it out of the packaging yet, but I had to open it up and take a look at it. So yeah, this is the new reel. I've got some things on my phone that I made sure I wrote down because I want to talk about it in this video to kind of talk about some information on this reel. But to start off, let's go ahead and open it up and see inside. Like always, it comes with the normal parts sheets, everything like that comes inside of it. It tells you all the different parts in case you ever need it. Comes with some of these right here, which are really just, I believe these are just to put it on your spool so you can hold your line on when you start spooling it. It's little tape pieces. Some spool washers. These go in your spool if your spool is spooling up line where it's bunching up a lot at the top. You put one of these in, or two of them, or however many you need, depending on how bad it's spooling it, and this will help that so it evenly spools your line up and down. Or if you're spooling a lot at the bottom, take one out, vice versa. It's just a good thing to have just in case. I've never actually had to use one, but you never know when you're going to need one. After that is the actual reel itself. You've got the handle right here. It's an all one-piece handle, I believe. We'll go ahead and take it out. One-piece handle, it does not crease or anything, which I like. I hate the ones that fold down. They just feel cheap to me. So it's all the one-piece handle right there. And then you've got your actual body. And this body is very cool looking right there. Let's move the Sustain over to you guys to see. It is an all black, like a matte black. Last thing in the box is it'll be nice to have if I ever take this off. So I can throw it in the and not have to worry about scratching it up. I hate get my wheels and it bothers me. Very, very picky about it. So it's nice having that little bag in there. I wish my favorite power came with that. My favorite power That's what MGL stands for, and it's in that MGL or Magnum Light family of reels. That means it just helps decrease the weight of the reel, which honestly, I like how they decrease the weight. Some of these reels are really heavy that you get for saltwater fishing, or well, mixed between salt and freshwater fishing, and the aluminum body ones tend to be pretty heavy. So I like when they do this stuff to cut down the weight. I like having a light reel that you can just cast all day long, especially when I'm using for bass fishing too, and when it could be used for like reds fishing or trout fishing. Next is a super low startup inertia. It really doesn't take much effort at all to get this thing started up. To a stop, put barely any pressure, and I mean, as you see right here, put barely pressure, and it'll spin by itself almost. So it's got a really low startup inertia, which is really good. I like having that low startup inertia. I hate when reels stick when you're trying to start them up. I had some issues with that with Naskies, and that's why I just don't care for Naskies, and somewhat why I don't go with any of the lower end reels anymore, just because they've got really low or high startup inertia. So this next one, I'm gonna have to kind of read off this because it is a lot. And it is that it's got a long stroke spool. This adds 10% increase of the height of the spool. It's supposed to have better line management, so it spools a little bit better, and it gives the line less times to change directions while it's spooling the line. So that should be better, maybe not get as many wind knots. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking, is that it'll make it so you don't get as many wind knots in your line, you don't get as many tangles. So like sometimes I go to cast, and that the way it spools the line up on it, it'll just get hung up on it, and I've kind of got to pull it by my hand. So that's what I'm thinking, what the long stroke spool has kind of helped. After that is silent drive. Tighten the tolerances of the actual gearing to help with that. Then it's got X Protect, which is a big thing on a lot of these reels, and I think that from the Stratic up has X Protect on it. And that's basically a labyrinth system. It's a waterproof system for the reel. It keeps the internals of the reel from getting fresh or salt water in it, and it's supposed to help the reel last longer. That's one thing that I think Shimano does a lot better than any other reel, is that they have a really good X Protect or sealing system inside their reel. Some of the other reels I just have noticed that aren't quite as good with sealing the water out of it as what they say. Next is rigid support drag. So what this means is that they've beefed up the support for the drag system in here a little bit. Let me see, I'm gonna take this off so I can show you. In here, the actual drag support, they beefed it up a little bit. That way it is a little bit beefier. It's not gonna move as much when you're reeling in, and it allows, so like when you have a pretty hard fighting fish on and it's pull and drag, you don't have any play in that. And I just really like that. I think it helps a lot with whenever you're fighting some of those bigger fish. So that's basically all the stuff I was gonna talk about with the actual reel, with the info on the reel. Next thing that I wanted to go over was they make these sustains in 4 different sizes. They've got the 2500, C3000, 4000, and C5000. Basically, the 2500 and the C3000 are both the same body, except the spool is a little bit bigger on the 3000 compared to the 2500. Just holds a little bit more line. Same thing for the 4000 and C5000. The 4000 and 5000 have the same size body, but the spool is slightly bigger on the C5000 to hold more line. There may be some small things here or there, but for the most part, especially as you'll see on the rest of these specs, that it's really just the line capacity that's the difference between these reels. So on the 2500 and 3000, there's 20 pounds of drag. On the 4000 and C5000, there's 24 pounds of drag. It's plenty of drag for fresh and saltwater. You really don't need any more than 20 pounds. Honestly, you probably don't need any more than like 10 to 15 pounds for salt or freshwater. Saltwater inshore fishing, like what you're gonna use a 3000 size for, I don't know if you're really gonna need any more than 15 pounds of drag. I've never gotten close to tightening my drag down all the way for fresh or saltwater fishing. So I don't know if it's really necessary. One of those things that is nice to have in case you do end up needing it. So next, the 4000 and 5000. Because of the gear ratio of the 4000 and 5000, they have 40 inches per crank that it's gonna pull in line into the reel. So each crank of the reel, it's gonna pull in 40 inches line. For the 2500 and 3000, you have 35 inches per crank. Next, these bearings are the 8+1 SARB bearings, and they're shielded anti-trust bearings. So one of those other things, just shielded, try to kind of not get as much water in it. or so they don't get corroded or anything like that. Okay, so the 2500 and the C3000 are both 7.4 ounces. The 4000 and the C5000 are both 9.3 ounces. So as you guys can kind of tell, the 2500 and the 3000 other than line size, like I mentioned, and the 4000 and C5000 other than line size are basically the same reel. They've got the same gear ratio, so they're pulling in the same amount of line per crank. They're both the same weight. They've got the same bearings in it. They got the same drag in it. So really the only difference is that line capacity. Personally, I like just the thought of having the extra line, even though I've never gotten close to spooling out. I don't want to get to that point and be like, man, I wish I had that extra 20 yards or 30 yards line, however much it is. So that's why I like going with the C3000, because it's the same size, you just get extra line. Okay, so this has a one-piece bail arm on it. So this is all one solid piece for the bail arm, and I believe the Ultegra and Up have a one-piece bail arm on them. So that's basically all the info on the reel that I want to go over. So what's my initial thoughts and impressions on it? I've got Shimano Stratic, FLs, CI4, Vanford, this, and Twin Powers now. And that this reel, they all feel about the same weight, honestly. When you're down at, what's this, 7.4 ounces? Yeah, 7.4 ounces. You really, it's just so light, you really don't have to think much of it. I think the Stratic FL is basically the same weight as what this reel is. The Vanford's lighter, of course. I think it's like 6.8 ounces or 7 ounces, somewhere around there. And then the CI4 is, I think, 6.7 ounces. So the CI4 and the Vanford are a little bit lighter. I'm used to using a Stratic FL. It's about the same weight as this. And yeah, I mean, it's a really good feeling reel. When you're just holding it and you're reeling it, it feels extremely solid. Gotta pull that off. It feels really solid, feels really good. The drag feels really good, just twisting it. Sounds good too. But, I mean, overall, it's a very solid feeling reel. Just looking at it, it is a very good looking reel cosmetically. And I can see this being one of my go-to reels that I'm gonna be using. I wanna try some other reels. That way I can do comparison videos for you guys between other brands and some other reels. But another video that I'm gonna do after this is comparing this reel to a Twin Power or a Vanford and a Stratic FL, kind of going through my thoughts on all of them and what I think is the best reel for the price. But I haven't used this yet. I'm gonna get this out, go fishing with it, and get a lot of use with this and my Twin Power before I go and tell you guys which one I think is best, because I want to be able to really test them and see what they're like first. So I'm gonna do that. Be prepared for a video here later this spring or summer where I compare the Stratic FL, Vanford, Sustain, and a Twin Power to kind of see if the higher end reels are really worth the price. So that's really, I think, all I got about this reel today. This reel looks great. I was excited to get it in. I've not been this excited to get a reel in for a while, and I was very excited to get this thing in. It just looks awesome. So I'm gonna be spooling this thing up with pretty much what all my other 3000 size reels are, 10-pound braid, and I'm gonna be tying that to a leader, depending on what I'm gonna fish. Could be anywhere down to like 6 pounds, all the way up to like 20 pounds. If I'm gonna be saltwater fishing, I'm gonna be running that 10-pound braid to a 20-pound fluoro leader, or maybe a 15-pound fluoro leader. So, yeah, I really don't have anything else to say about this reel. Feels really good in your hand, looks really good, cannot wait to use it. So yeah, be prepared for more gear review and like a Tackle Talk type podcast or what? I can't say that. My buddy has Tackle Talk podcast. But I can't wait for more gear reviews or talking tackle with you guys on some more future videos. If you guys have anything that you guys would like me to get to test or try out, or just like let you guys know my thoughts on it, drop them down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to check out any type of videos or any type of gear you guys want me to. I love getting more gear. I love just testing stuff out and reviewing it. So drop those in the comments. I'd be more than happy to help you guys. It may be something I already got. It may be something that you guys want me to get. Just let me know. I'd be happy for it. Ready for more of these videos. Thank you guys for watching this review of the Shimano Sustain. And be sure to subscribe if you guys aren't already so you don't miss any of the next tackle review videos. So we will see you guys in the next video.